When Lieutenant Colonel Sitiveni Rambuka launched his military coup here in May, he claimed that two of his objectives were to prevent violence and to absolutely guarantee Fijian control of Fiji. Judged by those objectives, the coup has been a failure. Communal and political violence is now commonplace here, and the Fijian control of Fiji is no firmer than it was before the coup. Indeed, it can be argued that the Fijian authorities are in a worse position than ever. That's because while the government has all the guns, the Indian community has all the economic muscle, and they haven't hesitated to use it. Meanwhile, the Governor-General's much vaunted plan to review the Constitution is hopelessly bogged down in an endless series of meetings where no one seems to agree with anyone else. The Governor-General, Ratu Sipanaya Nganilau, has met Dr. Bavandra 3 times since the deposed Prime Minister returned to Fiji. But despite their very cautious stepping through the thorny political issues that bedevil Fiji today, no real breakthroughs have been achieved, though their advisers maintain a friendly dialogue. Essentially, the Governor-General wants Dr. Bavandra to take part in a 16-man committee to review the Fijian constitution and report back by the end of July. But Dr. Bavandra is unconvinced the constitution needs changing and so far has refused to take part. But to these Fijians, esoteric constitutional niceties are irrelevant. In an effort to gauge grassroots Fijian opinion on the political future of Fiji, I drove to the central bushlands of the main island, Viti Levu. Here in the Fijian heartland, the villagers of Vunandawa are welcoming chiefly delegates to a provincial council meeting. The 14 provincial councils, which comprise the country's regional government, are channels for the strong expression of indigenous Fijian opinion. Here, a top Fijian civil servant told the villagers the military coup had been planned by God to protect Fijian interests. We spoke to a group of ordinary Fijian villagers chosen at random from the crowd. Questions and answers were channeled through a Fijian newspaper reporter, Masaki Koroi. We asked the group what was wrong with the present constitution, what changes it needed.
Basically the present constitution, although it looks pretty good and it has worked for quite some time, but it is now obvious that the Fijians are not happy with it. They are now beginning to realize that Fiji is their country, it belongs to them, and they're demanding a change so that they will lead their own country. What they're saying is that the Western type of democracy, while it has lasted for the past 17 years or so in Fiji, they do not find it that it is that goes along with the social structure and the Fijian way of life, and this is why they want it changed.
The Fijian faction of the society in Fiji has been very, very badly disrupted in a lot of ways, socially, politically, and economic-wise.
At the other end of the social scale is this man, a top public servant of chiefly rank, with a background of more than 20 years' discipline as a regimental sergeant major in the British Army.
Fiji and the Fijian people had a perfectly working system of government under the chiefly leadership derived from our social structure, which dictated that we would always look up to our chief as our leader. At village level, tikina level, provincial level, and of course as a race. And I can assure you today that the Fijian people have still got 3/4 of their brain, if you want, focused on the chiefly system, and the remainder on democracy.
What does the average Fijian think should be the role of the Indian in Fijian society under these proposed new changes?
India mer tigonga
The Indians should stay. They should remain in the country. They have a place and they have a role to play here. The economic life of this country, it depends on them. All what we are seeking and we are asking is that we be given political leadership. That's all. No more, no less.
This is the ugly side of race relations in Fiji today. This Indian community not far from Suva was attacked by a mob of 50 Fijian youths early last week. The youths were from a nearby Fijian village.
About 7:15 they came here with full arm, with